All right, folks, it's that guy, Joe, back again. Talk to you about a project I've been working on or getting parts together for. I'll be working on it here soon. So I'm going to be replacing my mountain bike, and no, I'm not sponsored by Nuke Proof, but might give you a good indication as to what my next frame is. So I've been swapping a few parts off of my current bike to set aside to put onto the new frame. And one of those things has been the grips. Partly because I was changing up the color scheme on the other bike. When I swapped frames, the bright yellow accents that I had on it never looked quite right. So I've changed that up a little bit as I'm preparing to replace it and sell it. So the bike originally came with these uncomfortable grips, and one of the first things I did was replace it with these Ergon GE1s. And I've liked them quite a bit. So in preparation to sell my old Santa Cruz, I threw these grips back on it and set these aside for the new frame. Well, a couple of rides with these old grips and I decided I needed something else to get me by, and one of the other things I wanted to do was toy with some different bar widths. So I decided to get an open end grip that I could slide onto the bar and adjust the width. GE1s have a closed end and don't give me that option. And I knew the GA2s had replaceable end caps, but it turns out that the end caps they come with are glued in, and I'm sure I could pop them out if I really wanted to, but I hate doing that to a brand new set of grips. They do make replacements for these if they get torn up, but they're more of a plug design on the replacements, where these that come on the grip are made into it. So with the thought that I just needed something short term to get me by until I put the new bike together, I bought some of these BW Ergo grips. And it didn't take me long to realize they are not the same quality. I mean, they're essentially knockoffs of the Ergon GA2s. You can see they've got a fairly similar design pattern. While not exact copies, they are pretty much trying to replicate the design without being a direct copy. Now, one of the big things I noticed fairly quickly once I started handling these, the BWs have kind of a symmetric shape to them. They may have this asymmetric pattern on them. So you've got, one side that's supposed to be more of your palm grip, where in the other side's where your fingers grip, just like the Ergons do. But once you start looking closer, they neck down just a little bit here and then widen out, but it's pretty much the same all the way around. Opposed to the Ergons, and I think you can see this in the camera, they're flatter on the top and kind of angle in and then kind of dish out here where your thumb would be. And these just feel a whole lot more natural in the hand than the BWs do. Now I do like the GE ones a little bit better. They've got a little more contouring and shaping to them. But these are pretty good. I'll probably end up keeping these as backups since this is a limited edition color. I've not been able to find another set of the GE ones in this same laser lemon since I got these, and there was only a handful of the GA2s left in this color. Now, one of the other things besides the differences in shape, which is the build quality is obviously not as good on these knockoff grips. And you can see the clamps a little narrower, but the big difference is the flexibility in these grips. I mean, you can see there's no real rigidity to them, and they just kind of twist. The inner sleeve on them is pretty thin. They just deform real easily. And I hope you can see this on the camera, but the inner sleeve only covers part of the inside, where on the Ergons it covers the whole thing. And if you try and twist these are solid. They don't deform under pressure. I mean, it's still a plastic inner sleeve, but it's thicker. It comes all the way out, almost in a full circle there, where this comes out only on the two sides. It is just a lot flimsier of a design. And let's see if I had to take a little bit of effort to get that off of there, but this thing is not very solid. And since when you're grabbing onto the bars and you've got a finger or two out on the brakes, your hand pressure is going to be out on this outside edge. And you know, if you're clamping pressure for the grips over here, and the grip just twists, and you're putting pressure on it, that doesn't create a good situation. Where the Ergons don't twist under pressure. It just goes to show you that there's some times that it's really worth it to step up and buy the name brand. You know, the extra money goes towards the research and design efforts that these companies put into things. So there's a reason that you're paying that extra money. Now, these cheap copies work for what I want to use them for. Just a few handful of runs, as long as I'm easygoing with them, to try and figure out if I want to cut my bars down. Beyond that, I wouldn't use these long term. I much prefer the GE ones, but I'll have to wait until I get some trail time on the GA2s to give my full opinion about those. But I have been real happy with the GE ones. These will probably be my go-to grip going forward. All right, folks, that wraps this up. I'll be trying to put together some more videos as I get my bike assembled and go over some insights and things that I figure out along the way. This is my first full bike build, I've done some frame swaps and some other bike maintenance, but I'm by no means an experienced bike mechanic. Just your average guy that likes to tinker. All right. See you guys on the next video.